So I'm Alex, CEO of Alpaca. I've spent like 17 years in healthcare. I'm not a clinician, but I can take a look. I witnessed the development of AI in healthcare from the very first steps, like IBM Watson, to where we're now. And so I also believe that this AI is inevitable, and the small changes wouldn't do, and we have to do something a bit more radical to get ready to the new reality. So where we're now, we have digitized the healthcare. I took part in it personally. We almost moved out of paper, almost. So now we have servers, we have databases, but we didn't really prepare for AI era. Because the data that we have now was never meant to be used by AI. It was never meant to be integrated to AI. And technically, it now works for reports, mostly in most cases. And it leads us to a lot of problems. First, gathering the data for AI training, using data lakes, integration buses, different standards, different communications, well, you know it. So the bottom line is, as a lot of people say, AI is ready. Models are really super great, but the data is not really. When you try to connect new AI tool, and we get like a lot of our clients, all of our clients are approached by hundreds of different AI startups. And even if those startups are cool, the clinics asks, okay, you're cool, but how do I connect to you? And how long will it take? And it takes a lot because it's usually like a nightmare with the plugs that you're gonna make. So one late night, I had an idea. What if hospital data was a living neural net from day one? So like instead of training the model on hospital data becomes the model itself. That may sound a bit crazy, but I guess that the idea we will get rid of paper sounded just like that crazy like 30 years ago. So I think that it was worth considering, and as you know, if it can be dreamed, it can be made. So we made it, we designed it. That's a super simplified explanation because there is 500 pages patent and so on. But in a super nutshell, we gather all the data inside the hospital and clinic, and by all data, I mean not only EHR data. Because usually when AI companies speak, they tell, we know this data from EHR, EMR, that's cool. But as you may know, you have the over 60% of data in hospitals currently not being medical. It's communicational, financial, administrative, and other stuff. And in a lot of clinical cases, it actually matters. For example, my favorite example is if you try to lose weight and not use GLP-1. So all the doctors basically say you the same. And we have a lot of studies that what actually affects the effect of the treatment of weight loss is the communication. Not only of the doctor with the patient, but also with the clinical team with the patient. That's what makes a difference. And so there are more examples like this. So we gather all the data. Well, a lot of people do that. We gather all the dynamics. So data is not static. We capture all the flows, how it happened, where were the flows, and it allows us to do the third step, where things get really cool. We have intelligence layer, and we constantly vectorize the whole thing. If the term vectorization is familiar to you, then I guess you got the idea already. If not, so technically we transform the data into sort of AI model, neural net that lies there. And it allows us to do several funny things. First, we can deploy it quite fast. Second, data is always up to date. You do not have to retrain your model because technically it's like live. So something changed within a month, the changes are already there. And it's fully auditable because it's not like you took some bunch of data, you put there and just go with it. And so you go down with it. It's not just a theory. We make it work. It works across over 60K patients, 6 countries. So we have a clinics reducing the no-shows rate by 37%. We got AI tools integrated in weeks, not a month, because we got our own connection protocol like MCP. Technically, like your data can start to talk. Our GTM is to go to new hospitals because old clinics and old hospitals are not willing to change anything and to adopt anything. because it's like hard decision to build things differently. So we go to people who are ready for that. And so that's like our main idea. Don't just take AI, make hospital data AI itself from day one. So that's what we're trying to do, and that's what kind of works. Thank you.
So 4 years ago, if I told you that one day there's not going to be any barrier of information, that you're going to have ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and other names that you wouldn't know what they mean, but lots of agents and models, well, at least some of you might think that nothing can stop someone who wants to change their behavior. And now the magic has happened. We got everything. Intelligence is abundant. Everyone has everything they need to change, but they still don't do it. And the reason is that people don't run on logic. Let's take healthcare, for example. So in healthcare, if patients don't act, everyone loses, except providers, of course. But patients lose, payers lose, and pharma lose. And believe me, pharma doesn't like to lose. So chronic patients, for example, they have 50% chance to adhere to new treatment or lifestyle change, and this translates to a $650 billion revenue loss a year. Now, cool thing is that once you are paired with someone with a shared purpose that can develop a long-term relationship with you and apply behavioral interventions, then your outcomes will drastically improve, which is perfect. Pharma companies have patient support programs for this, but we kind of ran out of humans, so we're left with an AI. So I'm Asaf Shiloni. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Xoltar. I'm also an Emmy Award winner, which is a cool story, but not for now. And today, I'm going to tell you about the next thing. And the next thing in AI is not intelligence. The next frontier in AI is human activation. So this is the gap between long-term goals and outcomes, and this is an enormous gap. So previously, our team was doing AI before it was cool, and then we started Xoltar and built a solution for human activation, which requires fundamentally different architecture. Essentially, I don't know if it's going to surprise you, but activation is not an intelligence problem. It's a human problem. And humans, again, don't run on logic. We run on motivation. We run on emotion, on trust, on habits. That's why you cannot just tell an agent to motivate the user. It doesn't work this way. So as intelligence becomes abundant, the next promising layer, the most valuable layer, is human activation. We call these things activators. So think about Xoltar as the Claude Code of human psychology, a behavioral AI platform that powers these purposeful activators. And so while agents optimize tasks, activators build relationships. Now, all of this sounds so abstract, but we already proven this for years in the most brutal environment that we can think of and that you care most about in healthcare. So we help thousands of patients in myriad of therapeutic areas. We help smokers quit, 4 times more likely to stay smoke-free after 1 year. We help cancer patients endure tough treatment, keeping them engaged for months and providing rich PROs to the clinic. We help chronic patients adhere to long-term treatment. And we have multi-year agreements with some of the top pharmaceutical companies in the world in massive markets like GLP-1 and oncology. The way that it works is that we build a patient-supportive journey for a specific behavioral use case. Then patients onboards the app, start their journey, and then everything revolves around those video calls, evidence-based video calls that you've seen. And then essentially, all of those personalized interactions are adapting to a unique use case, a unique patient journey. that is focused on improving outcomes, which can be adherence, reducing stress, breaking addictive behavior, reducing loneliness, and so on and so forth. And the breakthrough here is that healthcare was just the beginning. It's an ideal stress test, but if you think about it, human activation is a universal problem. Everything you see here are not different markets, the same problem of converting between long-term goals and outcomes. So the first era in AI was all about intelligence. The second one is now about creating agents. And the third one is going to be all about human action. So 4 years from now, when the human activation problem is no longer a barrier, remember, tell your friends that you heard about it here first. Thank you very much, everyone.